Here we go then, first of our 10 fights coming up this afternoon into this
Seconds out,
Sunday.
round one.
Action on DAZN, and it's a regroup, restart for Archie Sharp. New weight tonight, looks strong and well. Andy Clark alongside me, and he lands a left hook almost immediately from the first sequence here. So new beginnings for Archie Sharp, who's already reached a fair level in his career, Andy.
He has, and at 30 years old, there is still time. It can be a very up and down career, can't it? He was at #1 with the WBO at super featherweight for a good spell. I remember him being there when COVID hit and seeing a boxer 10-rounder against Jeff Afori, very close fight that I thought he was maybe slightly lucky to win. He was biding his time at that point, just waiting for the opportunity, and never really came, and things just then proceeded not to happen. And as you mentioned, he came back and he's had defeats against good fighters in recent times.
Very much so. Maxie Hughes up at lightweight. That's a good right hand. And then a South Coast fighter Ryan Garner, who's now European champion. That was a good competitive fight. The super feather, which is where mainly Sharp has operated throughout his career. But he's gone up in weight, up again tonight, although that may well be a sort of means to an end in the short term. It'd be interesting to see where he's going to be happiest and where home is, whether it is at 140 or otherwise. But it's a good positive start for him. I think this is what you need to do, Andy, isn't it? When you're in against a guy who's not on your level, is sort of go about your business professionally right from the very start. Try and put your opponent in their box and not allow it to become a bit scrappy and untidy and maybe drag out a little unnecessarily.
That's it. You need to stamp your authority. He's just switched into the southpaw stance here and let your opponent know that this is not going to be their night. He hasn't had too many of those nights, Vincent. Just a couple of wins, but he's not been stopped much either. But this is over 6 rounds, and if you have ambitions of tightening that screw and getting that done, then you need to start well, and I think he has started pretty well here. He's looked aggressive, hasn't he?
Living up to his name, yeah, he does look sharp. A couple of lovely body shots out of the switch stance. He landed a terrific left hook to the body there on Vincent, and himself trying to switch himself out of danger. Providing this goes as it's supposed to on paper, interested to hear from Sharp about where he is going to be comfortable in terms of his weight and also his mindset in terms of whether he learned anything from the sort of Maxie Hughes experience, because that might feed into what kind of style we're going to see from Archie Sharp, sort of Mark II, if you like, because I think there's no doubt the Maxie Hughes defeat was perhaps should be a chastening experience. He boxed well that night, but big question about whether those kind of tactics and that style was the right approach, particularly when you're trying to sell yourselves to promoters and managers and TV and fans, etc. So I'll be interested to see whether that was a learning curve for him and whether it'll feed into how he wants to approach the sport going forward.
That's a really interesting point, that, isn't it? Just generally, because in any sport, all participants need to work out what is the best route for them, what method for them will give them the best possible chance of winning. But boxing is not just about that, is it? It is quite hard to win a fight off the back foot anyway, because judges generally don't like it. But you've also got to think about your own marketability. There's plenty that goes into it.
I think it's a really tough balance, that, generally, really tough balance. And also developing your own style. Everyone's influenced, whether you and I, probably as commentators, influenced by what we sort of grew up and heard. Sports people for sure, about who their heroes were, and it's kind of blending a bit of that into your own body makeup, your own skills, and trying to find the right kind of blend. And I think that's the hardest thing for boxers, is to develop the style that is right for them. Nice little Sharp counters there. Did well with his feet, Sharp, because that could have become a bit messy, and Vincent could have wrapped him up, but he got the feet, he got backpedaled, got himself a little space, and then he was able to connect with the second wave. So it's really clued up stuff there at the start of the second round.
It was a good right hand he caught him with as he was coming forward out of the corner, found some distance with the body shots, and like you say, then just took a little bit of a step back. No knockdown, that was a quite obvious throw. Our referee, Mr. Israel, Rocky Israel, is a trainee ref, I think. I've not seen him before. Sean McAvoy just sitting outside the ring scoring the fight. You let the trainee referee just concentrate on exactly what they're doing. Good crunching left down the middle there.
It was, and he did it from the southpaw stance. So it was a right to the body and then a left through to the backhand with a second. The first shot was a good one as well, so a little bit of variety here, and maybe just upping the pace and the intensity. And he's going after Vincent here at the start of the second, making it uncomfortable for him.
He looks a bit unsteady there, Vincent, as well. I think he's got through nice and sharp with a few of those. And I think this is going to be a tough ask, actually, for Vincent to see this one out, because, as we said at the start, he's kicked things off in aggressive fashion, and he's nice and accurate too here. There's not much that isn't landing on something.
Really important for Archie Sharp just to get back to winning ways. Then you can push on for titles, and that's very much the plan, I'm told, is get this win, and then 2026 sort of get yourself in the mix for titles, whatever that is. Certainly if it's 140, we're going to be talking about that a bit later on with Yasser Algena, who's in action against Mikey Lee Broughton in an English title fight later on. That's the co-feature. That's going to serve as a sort of British and Commonwealth eliminator, but there is a queue. I mean, my goodness me, there is a queue behind Jack Rafferty, and the pieces are starting to move in that particular puzzle. So who knows, maybe Archie Sharp is going to be one of those pieces. Getting a bit uncomfortable here for Vincent. Just a bit puffy around the face, a little marked up on that left cheekbone. It's a good left hand in there from Sharp again, and he's not smothering or spoiling his own work. It's a good solid start from him, and that was an even better round.
It was, and with 4 to go, I think this is going to be difficult for Vincent. It's going to be hard work, and what Sharp needs to do is just keep that intensity high. And if he can just build on it round by round. He started off nice and sharp. I wouldn't say he came out the blocks flying. He's an experienced fighter. He's not going to blow a gasket over the course of 6 rounds. That's not going to happen. But if he can just raise the temperature round by round here, then I think he can make it a bit too hot for Vincent. Because for somebody like Sharp, like you said, he's looking for this new beginning. He's looking for that identity. But he needs to remember that he's good, and he always has been.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Boxer, no doubt about it.
Seconds out.
Important
Round
mindset.
3.
I mean, this is a good, ideal return to action for him against a journeyman in Stefan Vincent. So it's a fight he's expected to win and win well. But as ever, it's about how you go about it. And in terms of the mentality, because he shipped 2 big, notable career defeats back to back, you know, getting a W in the column is a big psychological thing as well.
Be interested to see what we get from Vincent, because he just had a flurry about 20 seconds ago where he looked to try and attack a bit more, and he might have to just gamble slightly and do that, because otherwise he's looking to soak this up for the remainder of the fight, and that's going to be difficult. He might just have to go for broke slightly here, not that he feels he can turn it around and win, but just give Sharp a bit more to think about.
Like the variety here, and the body attack in particular from Sharp, but he set it up earlier on in this round with a little shot to the head, changed the angle, came across with a body shot, and it could well be that that's where he's going to enjoy the big breakthrough, if it is to arrive. Oh, lovely. 3-punch combination, couple of left hands got through there as well, and that just forced Vincent to blink and take a step back. Steadily going through the gears here, Sharp. Another body shot goes in, and he's pretty much able to march forward now and do whatever he wants. So just about creating the angles and the space to land those heavier shots.
The hook just got through there around the back of the guard. And that chopping right hand has done well for him too. A rare right hand lands there for Vincent, but he's just trying to stay in there and work, Vincent, isn't he? I think close is safer for him, either all the way out or all the way in, really, but he is spending quite a lot of the time in that mid-range, which is exactly where Sharp wants him.
You and I were talking earlier on off air, Andy, about the sort of length of the career that Fraser Clark has had. People will see the professional sort of, you know, just into double digits or thereabouts, but it's those Olympic cycles a decade and a half ago when he was having wars with the likes of Joe Joyce and Anthony Joshua as well, having to wait and bide his time. You know, Archie Sharp's been going into boxing gyms for 23 years or thereabouts, so it's not just the career that we've seen over the last few years. It's those hard yards as an amateur, as a youngster, way back when, all on top.
I think he's been a pro for 10 years, hasn't he? He turned over in summer 2015, 27 fights now. So, as I said at the start, I do feel like there is time, there is still some gas in the tank here, but this reinvention needs to be the one, doesn't it? You would say.
Absolutely. Got a son himself there.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Right tips. Fantastic family experience himself.
Seconds out, round 4.
Into round 4 then of a scheduled 6. Archie Sharp in the blue and white up against Stefan Vincent. South Coaster just clipped with a left hand as Sharp again goes to business.
It's interesting watching Vincent though, because we see lots of away corner fighters, and I mentioned he's only been stopped 6 times in 40 defeats, just once this year. This is his 16th fight of the year. He's sensible with his choice of opponent. He doesn't normally go in with fighters of Archie Sharp's kind of caliber. He doesn't exactly get up on his toes, does he, or look to cover up. He brings it to a fairly unusual degree for somebody who's chosen the path that he's chosen.
Yeah, this would be a bit deeper than usual. Again, clipped with a right hand. There might just be a little smudge of blood from the nose now, and there's a lovely, clever turn and footwork from Sharp. But this would be a better opponent than Vincent's used to. He's been in against sort of British level operators. Lovely long right hand there from Sharp, and then he switched and landed a body shot as well. And again, the movement managed to spin and turn his man, so he's starting to feel it, Sharps. Maybe starting to get that rhythm back as well. What are we, 5 months on from the defeat to Maxi Hughes? Again, he clipped him with a shot on the turn. He's just a little too quick, a little too cute, a little too clever, a little too good for Vincent, as you'd expect at the moment. But some nice stuff from Sharp. And there's another right hand, and always getting back into his stance, getting back to the right kind of distance to go again. Coming in with good angles, Sharp, isn't he? The upper body movement is working for him, just creating a little bit of space and making it difficult for Vincent.
I think with a couple of rounds we've got left after this, as we tick down towards the end of this round, he's going to have to really put his foot to the floor here, Sharp, I think. If he's bothered about getting a stoppage, which he might not be, because 6 rounds under your belt is never a bad thing, but he hasn't really hurt Vincent badly at any point. But at the same time, if you can get a kind of volume stoppage, can't you?
He's chipping away, and isn't he? The blood, which is just a sort of smudge, has developed into something a little more and probably more uncomfortable and painful for Vincent. There's been a couple of moments of suffering still to come his way. So yeah, he's chipping away, grinding away, maybe breaking him down bit by bit, Sharp. And the question is, can he do anything more than that in the last couple of rounds? And as you'd expect, when you're enforcing the pace and you're not working so hard yourself, he's taken his first 4 rounds fairly.
Corners, 10 seconds.
He's in good shape. He's very much in control.
Seconds out, round 5.
Again, clip with the right hand there, Vincent. You can see the Vincent tactics now are sort of stay away, close the gap, buy a bit of space, hopefully some time, and then repeat and repeat, but forced back to the ropes here by Sharp.
He's got one of these styles, Vincent, where he'll look like he's off balance. And sometimes he is, as he was there as he stepped forward and all the weight came forward. But sometimes he'll move in such a way as to suggest that he might be about to unravel to a degree. But I think that actually is just the way he moves. He's quite ungainly, a little bit rubbery, and he soaks it up pretty well, doesn't he, actually? It's been difficult for Sharp to really land full force, optimum kind of biting point on him.
A couple of landed shots there. Right hand to the body, clipped him with a jab as well. I think he's managed to ride the wave in this round, Vincent. What was sort of steadily simmering and building up and becoming more uncomfortable. Actually, he's managed to diffuse that this round. And I think that's great credit to him, rather than anything the Sharp is or isn't doing himself.
Agreed. I thought in the second half this could get really difficult for him, because it was a tricky first couple of rounds, first 3 rounds, and I thought he did a pretty good job actually in the round we've just seen of just slowing Sharp down a little bit, just getting to him to maybe settle almost for what's going on, rather than really look to pour some fuel on the fire. And
there's a couple of times in those exchanges he's actually beaten Sharp to the punch, hasn't he? And did a nice little straight right hand a moment or so ago. I'm not quite able to pin him down in this round. Good blend of tactics from Vincent. Touch of gloves. I think he enjoyed that, Vincent, that round. Fair play to him. He found a way, didn't he? He found a way to make it a little more comfortable, and that's exactly what he needed, because the finishing line's in sight, and what could have been an uncomfortable final round was maybe slightly less so. So great credit to him that he's doing his job, finding a way to make things a little less uncomfortable than they had been.
Big, isn't it? If you're in your own corner now, you can see that finish line, and it just puts a bit of wind in your sails. I think if you're in the 6th round there and it's a bit torrid early on, you take a seat in between rounds and you've still got 3 or 4 rounds to go, then that's when you really have to wind down. But once you wrap bench, right?
10 seconds.
See that? It's different. And for Sharp, I talked about the stop
Seconds
at
out,
the beginning.
6th and final round.
Will want one, but in the situation he's in, I don't think he's necessarily that bothered, to be honest. 6 rounds is all good money in the bank, isn't it?
Absolutely. First fight in 6 months. Tease him up for next year. And he'll be pushing and pushing and pushing the envelope. Calls will be made, making people know that he's available. And as ever, although it's a slightly congested 140 division domestically, you might be looking to sort of push beyond that. You've always got to be ready. That was good from Sharp, that little step back again, just to get to the right position, at the right distance to go again and work the next phase. Oh, lovely. Missed with the first couple, but that's why you throw combinations, and it was the last of those slightly orchestrated and crafted, that left hand. Again, combination, gets a few oohs and ahs and claps from the crowd getting into it. And this is kind of back to where we were through the first 3 rounds, isn't it, for Sharp? He's the boss, landing shots, making things difficult for Vincent. Oh, nice right hand again from Sharp. One of the best off this round.
He was just moving back onto the ropes, wasn't he, Vincent? So even then, though, he just managed to take a piece off it, and he's done that well. And Sharp's looking to finish strong here, isn't he? With a little bit of a flourish in this final round, but I think Vincent's going to make it through. He's done that a couple of times, hasn't he, in the final round? They just dip his knees, come in almost in slow motion, and it's like he's looking at Sharp as if to say, come on, let's just, can we?
Yeah, well, listen, here's the final bell. He can go to work again in another week or 2 weeks' time, and some more money in the bank, food on the table. So that's how important it is to these other guys and girls in the away corner, as Vincent is tonight. And he's earned that other payday in the next few weeks, courtesy of that big 4th round. That was psychologically, in terms of the pattern of fight, really important. Well done to him.
He's done well. He's done well to stick it out through the 18 minutes there. And Archie Sharp, I think, has got what he wanted. As you said at the beginning, what you have to make sure you do when you're in a fight like this, and he won't have been in one of these for a while, actually, I wouldn't have thought, is you start nice and quick, you make sure your opponent knows exactly what the time is, and then you just look to try and work on things in the gym. And I think going a distance there and doing the full 6 rounds will probably be what they wanted. If the stoppage was there, then they would have taken it, but it wasn't something that they really hunted, because if that had been the case, then he could have put his foot to the floor more, couldn't he, in the second half of that fight?
Yeah, but just watching Archie Sharp go across to Mark Tibbs and Johnny Clark, the promoter over there on the far side, it was just a kind of that kind of reaction from him, and you understand that. So probably is what he's thinking, but it was a means to an end.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. The ringside referee scores the bout 60-54, and your winner, Archie, the Sharpshooter Sharp.
So Archie Sharp wins comprehensively, as he was supposed to, as was in the script, but you like the way he went about it.